All right, let's jump right in. We are diving headfirst into a brand new era of military tech, one that's all about almost unbelievable speed. We're talking about hypersonic weapons. And today, we're going to break down exactly what they are, who's in the race to build them, and why they might just be about to change everything we know about modern warfare.
I want you to start with just this one number in your head. 18 minutes. Seems kind of random, right? What could possibly happen in just 18 minutes?
Well, in about the same time it takes you to watch an episode of your favorite sitcom, one of these weapons could, theoretically, travel from the US all the way to China. That speed, that almost incomprehensible compression of time and distance, is at the very heart of what we're talking about today.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. You hear this word hypersonic thrown around a lot, but what does it actually mean? You know, the technical definition is actually pretty simple. Hypersonic speed is just anything that travels faster than Mach 5. That's it, 5 times the speed of sound.
And this chart really shows you just how insane that is. You know, a commercial jet kind of cruises along at subsonic speeds, less than Mach 1. A fighter jet, yeah, it's fast, maybe Mach 2, Mach 3, but a hypersonic missile at Mach 5 or more, I mean, that's a whole different ballgame. We're talking speeds that can get up to 19,000 miles per hour, just wild.
But here's the thing, and this is absolutely crucial to understand. It's not just about being fast. To be a true hypersonic weapon, you need this deadly combination of 3 things. Number 1, obviously, is that mind-bending speed. But then there's number 2, the ability to maneuver, to actually change course while it's flying. And finally, number 3, the accuracy to hit a specific target from thousands of miles away. It's that trio that makes them such a game changer. So how on earth do you even build something that can do all that? Well, right now, there are 2 main technologies that everyone is chasing.
So you've got 2 main flavors here. First up is the Scramjet engine. The simplest way to think about it is like a jet engine on steroids that can breathe air from the atmosphere while it's already moving at supersonic speeds. The other method is the boost glide vehicle. This is a totally different concept. It gets launched up high by a big rocket, and then it just detaches and glides, unpowered, all the way to its target at hypersonic speeds.
Okay, let's take a closer look at that scramjet, because the engineering here is it's mind-blowing. First, it has to suck in huge amounts of air while it's already screaming through the sky. Then it injects fuel that's also acting as a coolant just to stop the whole thing from melting. But the really tricky part is combustion. I mean, you have to keep a fire lit inside an engine where the air is moving at thousands of miles an hour. It's like trying to light a match in a hurricane. But if you pull it off, the thrust is just enormous.
All right, so now that we know the how, let's look at the who. And first up is China. They reportedly have an operational hypersonic weapon called the Dongfang 17, and it uses that boost glide model we were just talking about. And make no mistake, the DF-17 is an absolute monster. We're talking 15,000 kilograms, 11 meters long, it's got a range of about 2,500 kilometers, and here's the really critical part. It's dual capable. That means it can carry either a regular conventional warhead or a nuclear one. And its launch sequence is really what makes it so terrifyingly effective. It's fired from a big military truck, which makes it really hard to find and track before it even launches. A big rocket booster gets it up to altitude, then it separates, and that hypersonic glide vehicle begins its low, unpredictable flight towards the target.
And here's where it gets really sneaky. Unlike a traditional ballistic missile, which flies in this high, predictable arc way up in space, the DF-17's glider stays low, skimming the atmosphere. This helps it fly right under the gaze of most conventional radar systems. But wait, there's more. As if being a low-flying speed demon wasn't enough, it can also actively change its flight path. So if you're a missile defense system, you're trying to calculate where to intercept something that's moving at 5 times the speed of sound and can suddenly jink left or right. It's pretty much an impossible problem to solve.
Okay, next up, let's pivot to Russia. They've taken a bit of a different approach with their weapon, the Kinzhal, which literally translates to dagger. And this one is air-launched.
The reported speeds for the Kinzhal are just staggering. We're talking a terminal speed of Mach 12. Let's put that in perspective. That's over 9,000 miles per hour. At that speed, it could get from Moscow to London in about 10 minutes. It's just unreal. So instead of launching from the ground, the Kinzhal gets a head start. It's carried way up high by a MiG-31 supersonic jet. So it's already got a ton of speed and altitude on its side before it's even released. Then its own rocket motor kicks in and blasts it all the way up to those incredible hypersonic speeds. So we've talked about China, we've talked about Russia. You might be asking, well, what about the United States? And that brings us to their main development program, the AGM-183A, better known as ARRW, like Arrow.
And honestly, the best way to describe the concept behind ARRW is this quote right here. It's a missile within a missile. It's a really clever, but also a really, really complex idea.
So here's how it's supposed to work. A B-52 bomber drops the whole thing. A booster rocket ignites. Then, this protective shell pops off, and it reveals the glide vehicle that was tucked inside. That vehicle then detaches and just glides, completely unpowered, to its target at speeds that could go beyond Mach 20. It's designed to destroy a target with nothing but its own kinetic energy.
But that missile within a missile idea, it has proven incredibly difficult to perfect. The $2 billion program has run into some pretty significant challenges, with reports of several failed tests. So for now, the experimentation is still very much ongoing.
So, let's zoom out for a second. We've got these unbelievably fast, maneuvering weapons being developed by the world's major powers. Why is this such a big deal? Why does this fundamentally change the rules of the game? Well, it really boils down to this. These weapons threaten to make our existing defense systems totally obsolete. First, their sheer speed cuts down the time a defender has to react, from many minutes to maybe just 1 or 2. Second, their ability to maneuver makes them a complete nightmare for our current interceptors. And third, that low flight path means they can sneak in under the radar, literally, evading the very systems designed to give us an early warning.